add a little bit of romance to your life with my Sweetheart Granny Square gloves. These gloves come in 3 sizes, small, medium and large, and if you would like to make them for a child, I do have child sizes available as well, but you will need to go and check out the written pattern to see those. Now all 3 sizes are made in exactly the same way, just using a different hook size. So if you're going to be wanting the small size, you will want a 3.5mm hook, for the medium a 4mm hook, and for the large size a 4.5mm hook. And I'm going to be using double knit yarn. I'm using this Drops Charisma today. So we're going to start by making our heart granny squares. So we'll start with a slip knot on a hook and chain 4 and join with a slip stitch to that first chain. Then going to chain 3. This counts as our first double crochet, and we're now going to be working into the ring. So I'm going to put 2 double crochet into that ring, and then chain 2 for our first corner, 3 double crochet into the ring, chain 2 for the corner, and again another 3 double crochet into the ring, chain 2 and our final 3 double crochet all into the ring. And then we'll do our chain 2 for that last corner. I'm then going to join with a slip stitch to the top of that chain 3. Okay, so our next round is going to be in the same colour. So we're going to slip stitch across to that corner space. So slip stitch in the next 2 stitches and then into the corner space. We'll chain 3 for our first double crochet, and then we're going to work our corner as usual. So another 2 double crochet into that corner, chain 2 and then 3 double crochet into that same corner space. So you can go ahead and do the same into each of these corners. So 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet into each of those corners, and then we'll finish the round by slip stitching into that chain 3 from the beginning. Now this next round we're going to start the colour work. As you can see from this square here, we're just going to be starting this corner, so we're still in the same colour for this first corner and the first cluster along the side. So first of all we need to get to that corner, so we're going to slip stitch in the next 2 stitches and then into that corner space. Then go to chain 3 and then put 2 more double crochet into that corner, chain 2 and then 3 more double crochet. Okay, so we've got this space along the side. We're going to put 3 double crochet in there. 1, 2, and the last double crochet we're going to change colour, so we're just going to do the first part of that stitch, then we're going to drop the cream, we're going to pick up the pink, lay the new colour over the hook and just finish that stitch off with the new colour. And as you can see here, we're going to be doing this corner in this pink yarn, but we do need to carry the cream over, so we'll hold that to the corner and work over that. You can also work over the pink tail as well. So we're going to put a double crochet into that corner, followed by 2 more double crochet, chain 2 for the corner, and then 3 more double crochet. And we are going to be changing colour on that last stitch. So we'll drop the pink, pick up the cream, finish that stitch off, carry the pink across, and then 3 double crochet into that space. And then again on this last stitch, changing back over to the pink. So drop the cream, pick up the pink, carry the cream across to the corner, finish that last stitch up, and then work a corner as normal. So that's 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and on that last stitch, changing back to the cream, remember to carry the pink across, and then we've got 3 double crochet into that side space. Now the next corner we're staying with the cream, so we will carry the pink across to that corner. Make sure you're always working over the carriage yarn as you go. So we've got 3 double crochet, oops, chain 2 and 3 double crochet. Now on this last stitch we're going to change back to the pink, so we just work the first part of the stitch, drop the cream, pick up the pink, finish off that stitch, carry the cream across to this last space on the side and 3 double crochet. Now we do need to join with the slip stitch to that first, to the top of that chain 3, so whoops, so I do need to change back to the cream for that. So we'll drop the pink, pick up the cream, and then join with a slip stitch to the top of that chain 3, and I'm just catching the cream, the pink as well, so we can take that across, because the next round we're going to need the pink. So I'm going to slip stitch across, carrying that pink, till I get to the corner, and then I can fasten off with the cream. Okay, so we finished with the cream yarn, so the next round is done entirely in the pink, but we are going to be picking up some of those longer floats and catching those up a little bit and trying to tidy those up a bit on the next round. So we're going to put a hook in this corner space, and we're going to take the pink, draw it through, chain 3 for that first double crochet, and then we're going to put 2 more double crochet into that same space, chain 2, and then 3 double crochet, now in each space across the sides we're going to put 3 double crochet. That's 1, 2 and 3. Now in this next space you can see here we've got this float, so we're going to catch that. So we're going to put 3 double crochet into the next space, but we're also going to crochet over that float. So that's 1, 2 and 3. So it might look like it's more visible at the front, but you can just kind of tuck that back. So this corner is going to be worked as usual. It's 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet. So we're going to keep working around in the pink, Each time you get to a space at the side, it's going to be 3 double crochet, and you're going to catch up these floats as you go around, and each time you get to a corner it's 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and then we'll join with a slip stitch to the top of that chain 3 and fasten off. Now you'll need to go ahead and make another square exactly the same as this one, and then you'll want to go ahead and make 2 squares all in one colour. So just make them exactly the same way but without the colour work. So we're now going to start joining our squares, so using the same colour as you're using for the main colour. So for this glove I'm using the pink as my main colour. Start with a slip knot on your hook. Make sure your heart is the correct way around, and then put your squares together right sides together. So we're going to be joining the sides here and then these sides here, with the top and bottom of the heart open where your hand and your wrist will be. So I'm going to go in with a single crochet into this corner space, and then we're going to single crochet this side together, going through both stitches on each side. So you want to work across stitch for stitch with a single crochet. You can use a slip stitch if you prefer. I like the stretchiness that you get from joining with a single crochet. I find my slip stitches tend to be a bit tight, but you can use whichever you like. So we're just going to work all the way across and then finish with single crochet through both of the corner spaces, and then you can fasten off. Okay, so we're now going to join these 2 sides together, but we're going to leave a gap for the thumb. So we're going to start off as we did previously with a slip knot on our hook, and we're going to put a single crochet into both of those corner spaces. We're then going to single crochet into the next 2 stitches, working through both pieces together. So that's 1 and 2. Now we're going to be working around the thumb hole. So we're going to just flip this front piece back. We're just going to work on the back square, and we're going to slip stitch across. Now you need to make sure these stitches are quite loose, otherwise you might find there's not enough room for your thumb. So we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, and we're going to keep going all the way across, keeping our stitches nice and loose until we get to the last 2 stitches. So here we go, we've got 2 stitches left, and then we're going to single crochet both pieces together again in those last 2 stitches. So that's 1 and 2, and then our final single crochet goes into the corner space through both corners. Now going to turn. Now we need to work our slip stitches back across on the other side now, so we're going to slip stitch just into the next 2 single crochet just to get back across there, and then we're going to start slip stitching across on these stitches at the back. So this is the first one here, so remember to keep your slip stitches nice and loose and slip stitch all the way across. That's our last one. Whoops. And then I'm just going to slip stitch into this single crochet, that first one there, and then you can fasten off. And then when you turn it back the right way around, it should look something like this. So you've got your nice gap for the thumb there. Now I recommend you sew these ends in before you start to work on the ribbing just to get them out of the way. But I'm going to carry on with the video. So flip your glove over so that you should have the right sides facing now. We've turned it back the right way round, but you want to be working from the back, and you're going to start in this corner here in the back. It just means because you do get a very slight seam when you join, and it's better if that's on the underneath of the glove so you can't see it. So always join in this square here. So when you're working with the other glove, it's going to kind of be the other way around, and then you'll be joining here. Just keep that in mind, and make sure when you join your squares that you've got your thumb in the right size, so you don't end the right side, so you don't end up with two left gloves or two right gloves. Okay, so where was I here? So here. So we're going to start off here. I'm going to show you how to do the ribbing at the top, and then the ribbing at the cuff is done exactly the same way, but just with a longer starting chain. So I won't show you how to do this one, I'll just show you how to do the one at the top. So we're going to join in our yarn. I'm going to chain 6. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're now going to be working into those chains. So we're going to skip the first one and put a slip stitch into that next stitch, and in each stitch across. For a total of 5 slip stitches. And you're then going to slip stitch into the next stitch, this first one here, and then turn, and then you're going to be looking here, we're going to be slip stitching into the back loops from now on. So this first slip stitch, this is just where you were joining, so you don't slip stitch into that one, but you will slip stitch into the next 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So ignore that first slip stitch, and then we're working into the back loops only. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This first couple of rows can be a bit tricky, so we're going to chain 1 here. Make sure you keep this chain quite tight, because then it's going to give you really nice edges, and then turn, and then we're going to repeat that. So we're going to slip stitch into each stitch through the back loop all the way across. Now I recommend you count that you've got 5 stitches every row, either that or put a stitch marker in the first and the last stitch, because it's so easy to miss the stitches, especially when you're coming back up this way and you're keeping that chain tight. It can make that last stitch can be hidden. I'll show you on the next row what I mean. So that's our 5 slip stitches, and then we're going to slip stitch into that next stitch and turn, and we're just going to keep repeating this. So it's slip stitch into each stitch across. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here it looks like you can't even see that stitch, but you just have to kind of get your hook in there and find it, that last stitch, and then chain 1 and turn, and you're just going to repeat that until you get all the way around. So you go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you how we finish off. So I've been working around with the ribbing, and when you get to the seam here where you join the 2 squares together, I've just gone down with the slip stitch into each stitch in the back loop here, and then I'm going to slip stitch into this join here, and then you just carry on as normal with your ribbing. I've worked all the way around with my ribbing. I think I forgot to mention before that each time you get to the corner spaces, that counts as 1 stitch, so you put 1 slip stitch into there. So you should end up at the top here, and then I'm going to fasten off, and then we'll just stitch that seam up. Leave enough tail just to add those few stitches to close that seam. Okay, so we're just going to thread your tail onto a yarn needle, go in on the other side, and we're just going to go down and then up. Then we're going to go through the back loop there, then go down and back out. This is kind of similar to mattress stitch, but we're kind of only doing the mattress stitch on one side and then going through the back loops of the stitches on this side, if that kind of makes sense. So we get through the back loop here, in and then out here, through the back loop, in and then out, through the back loop, and in and out. And then if you just gently draw that together, just want the sides to come together, you don't want it to pull too tight. It's kind of the most seamless join I've found so far. There you go, and then you can just fasten that off, weaving your end. This is how it should look so far. So all that's left is now to add your ribbing around the cuff. Now I'll just start you off. It is done exactly the same way, but I'll just show you how many chains you need to do. So again, you want to start off with the wrong side facing. So I always join in just where the thumb join is. So this is the wrong side. So the first corner hole that you've got here. So you just pull your yarn through, and we're going to chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we're going to do the ribbing exactly the same as for the top of the glove. So you'll skip that first chain, and then you're going to slip stitch into each chain all the way along, and then your first slip stitch into the side of the glove is going to be going in this join here. Then you'll turn and slip stitch in each stitch in the back loop only, and just keep repeating that until you get all the way around, and then sew your seam together exactly the same as for the top of the glove. And once you're finished, it should look something like this. Now, if you would like to make the child sizes, or if you want to know all of the yarn quantity and specific yarn that I'm using, you can find all of these things in the written pattern. And if you love these fingerless gloves, then be sure to check out this video next. Bye bye now.